Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Tonight Emily and I are having green and white pizza for dinner, and I figured I would make a video on how I make that. So let's get started. Okay, so for my pizza dough, I always start out with a bowl to mix it in. 1 packet of yeast, active dry yeast, and then 1 cup of warm water. And so you'll just add the yeast and water to the bowl. If you are in a time crunch, you can, sometimes if I'm like trying to cook it fast, I will just mix all the ingredients together. If I'm not in that big of a hurry, which I'm not right now, I'll let it rest for a few minutes and kind of let the yeast activate a little bit. Okay, so once you've let your yeast water sit for a while, you'll want to add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and about 1 teaspoon of salt. You can do a little less if you would like as well. Sometimes I do less, but Emily says that she prefers it with more. And then you'll mix that together. You'll also want to add 1/4 cup of oil. Once you add the oil, you can mix that together, and then you'll want to knead in about 2 to 3 cups of flour. So just start with like 2 cups and then see how you are and add more as needed. Okay, so I've got my 2 cups of flour in, and I'm just gonna mix it and see how much more I need to make a nice dough that I can move around. So I'll probably add a little bit more flour. Once you get that, you just want to knead it all in until it makes a nice ball of dough. Once your dough has formed a nice round ball like this, you can either roll it out now onto a a greased baking sheet, or you can let it rise for a little bit. The crust does taste and have a better texture if you let it rise for a little bit, but it's not too bad if you just roll it out now. It's just a little bit tougher of a crust. So I'm gonna let it rise for a few minutes, and then I will roll it out and put the toppings on. Okay, so I've let it sit for a little bit. Could probably sit for longer, but I want to get it done. And then I have my greased cookie sheet. At this point, if I was going to cook it right away, I would preheat the oven, or would have done that a little while ago. But I'm gonna put the dough on the cookie sheet and just roll it out there, because I feel like that's easiest. Okay, now that the dough is rolled out on the pan, I'm going to put on the toppings. Since it's a white sauce pizza, we have Alfredo sauce, some cheese, just shredded mozzarella cheese, some artichoke hearts, green olives, some broccoli. That's in here with the carrots. We'll just use the broccoli. And then I like to have spinach. I don't know if Emily was meaning to do this, but she has a salad mix that has spinach, so I'll probably pull out some of the spinach in here and put it on the pizza as well. And it will be delicious. So you got a nice even layer of the sauce. I like to use the back of a spoon to spread it, and then we'll put the cheese on as well. For a long time, Emily and I didn't use shredded cheese, like pre-shredded cheese, because we didn't like the taste of it as much, but it definitely makes it easier, so we've been using it lately because we're lazy. Plus, like, I don't know, other mozzarella cheese is really hard to shred. It just like squishes and falls apart really easily. So pre-shredded is always nice. Okay, now that the green and white pizza is done and all the toppings are on, it is good to go in the oven. Or if you're like me and aren't cooking it right away, you can cover it up with plastic wrap or not and stick it in the fridge until you're ready to bake it. You'll want to bake it at 425 degrees until the cheese is all melted and the crust is golden brown across the bottom. And enjoy. This is probably one of my favorite pizzas, just because you can put all of the toppings. So I guess you can do that with all pizzas, but I really like these toppings on it, and it is delicious with the white sauce as well. So